Rescue of a baby hippo that was pulled out by a current and had been living with its rescuers for 20 years. Rescue of a baby hippo that was left alone without its mother in a dried-up pond and could have died without human help. And also a story in which people spent 2.5 years rescuing a hippo during World War II in a blockaded city with nothing to eat. Now I'm going to tell you 4 amazing stories of hippos that needed human help. Number 4. Sheldrick Wildlife Trust mainly rescues and rehabilitates orphaned elephants who have lost their mothers, but often helps other animals too. This baby hippo was left motherless and in trouble. It was stuck in a fast-drying body of water. Hippos should not be left without water for long, and this hippo was spotted by locals who called for help. Specialists from Sheldrick Wildlife Trust arrived on site by helicopter. From the helicopter, they quickly spotted the hippo. Then they prepared a sleeping dart to sedate the poor animal. After the shot, the hippo was caught and carried to the helicopter. Since the animal had been in the mud for a long time and its skin could be damaged, it was liberally watered. Then they tied it to the helicopter and took it to the runway, where an airplane was waiting to take it to the rehabilitation center. The hippo was given a name, Humpty, during transportation. When the rescuers arrived, they hosed the hippo down again so its skin would recover more quickly. In just a couple of days, Humpty got the hang of it, started swimming in the pool and drinking a lot of milk, almost 8 liters a day. The hippo grew day by day thanks to the care of the good people at the rehabilitation center. At first, Humpty was wary of people, but with time, a bond developed between them, and now the animal felt happy. That's where the story ends, but I wondered what happened to Humpty next and was very upset to find out. I didn't even want to add this bad news to the video. However, I will share it with you. Sadly, after 6 months of happiness for Humpty and the rehab center staff, she died. The cause was an inverted bowel. What caused this remains a mystery. Many animals, horses, and even elephants can have twisted intestines, in which case there is, unfortunately, nothing that can be done to help the animal. But I still want to say a big thank you to the staff at Sheldrick Wildlife Trust Rehabilitation Center for their work. I'll leave a link in the description where you can donate if you want to support their work. Rest in peace, dear Humpty. Number 3. Tony Joubert and his wife Shirley were tidying up their grounds after the seasonal flooding that often occurs in South Africa. During the cleaning, they heard a faint rustling sound, and when they came closer, they saw a tiny newborn hippo washed ashore. The mother was not nearby, and the hippo was probably swept away by the current. They realized immediately that the little behemoth couldn't survive without their help, and Tony carried the baby back to his house without wasting a second. There, he prepared a milk mixture which he started to feed the hippo with. Luckily, the baby had a good appetite and she liked the formula, so she consumed several liters of milk formula daily and grew stronger daily. The baby girl was named Jessica and became a full-fledged member of the Joubert family. For Jessica to develop properly, Tony built a unique waterway near his house directly to the river for her. The hippo is now 20 years old and has grown up. She leads a free life, socializing with other hippos, but does not leave the home of Tony's family. Even though hippos are considered very dangerous and unpredictable animals, Jessica has never had even a hint of aggression from them over the years. She attracts crowds of tourists who are allowed to feed the animal. Incidentally, Jessica has also become a personal guard for Tony and his family. Crocodiles used to come here often and attack livestock, but with the arrival of the hippo, crocodiles no longer come close to Tony's house. Jessica is now probably the most famous hippo in the world. Thousands of tourists come to see her, and she has also starred in several documentaries. Jessica is fine, and now if you are in South Africa, you may well stop by to visit her. Thanks to Tony and his whole family for rescuing this incredible animal. Number 2. During the Second World War, not only people suffered, but also animals. A hippopotamus named Belle lived in the Leningrad Zoo. When German troops approached the city, most animals were taken away, but this hippo was too heavy to transport and had to be left behind. An elephant named Betty was also left behind. When fighting broke out on the city's outskirts, bombs often flew into the zoo. Betty was killed in one of these bombings. She was the last large animal in the zoo. The German troops did not attack the town but decided to blockade it, which eventually led to starvation. People died of starvation every day. But hippos are herbivorous animals, and zoo workers tried as best they could to feed Belle. The raptors that couldn't be taken out and needed the meat soon died, but Beauty ate whatever people brought her. Of course, she still didn't finish much, but day after day, the hippopotamus passed her severe trials with honor, just like the town's other inhabitants. Over time, another problem appeared. The hippo's skin began to crack due to lack of water. At first glance, many may think that the hippo's skin is very thick and there is no need to take care of it. But without water, the skin can crack, bleed, and hurt a lot. But there was no water in the zoo, as the water supply was destroyed in one of the bombings of the city. The remaining zoo employees decided to bring water for Beauty themselves, drawing water from a well and the river. Every day they carried water to take care of the hippo's skin. When bodies of water were frozen in winter, they had to rub Belle's body with a wet rag. The siege was not lifted until 1944, 2.5 days after it began, but Belle survived and did not die of old age until 1951, at the respectable age of 40 for a hippo. It's hard even to imagine what all the people in that town went through, and even harder to understand how they managed to keep a hippo alive in such harsh conditions. What a fantastic story! Number 1. And this hippo lives in a zoo, and something unpleasant happened to him. His lower fangs grew so big that he couldn't eat anymore. The fangs were also causing the poor guy a lot of pain. The zoo management did not know what to do in such a situation and how to help the animal, but it was decided to turn to rescuers. Upon arrival, the rescuers used their equipment to stretch the hippo's jaw. They then used a hydraulic cutter to start sawing its tusks. Although it was evident that the hippo was in a lot of pain, after 5 minutes, the rescuers, who had now mastered the specialty of dentistry, had finished the job. A very unusual rescue operation, and I'm glad it ended well. I also recommend watching these amazing bear rescue stories. For example, the story of the rescue of a bear that wanted to walk across a bridge but got scared of cars and got stuck under the bridge 25 meters above ground. Click on the video to see stories of bears that needed human help. See you there!